Hey everyone, it's Rigo from Beers and the Lot. Welcome to episode 17. Before we get to episode 17, let me ask you to subscribe, rate, and review to the podcast on your favorite podcatcher. And while you're at it, make sure you tell your friends, your teammates, your family, your cats, your dogs, whoever about the podcast. On episode 17, we're talking about the NHL's return potentially in January. How will the NHL make up for revenue with ads on uniforms? Hashtag sell the rink. And also our reactions to the reverse retro jersey reveals. Welcome to episode 17.
All right. It's time for beers, guys. Let's go.
Gratuitous pour from Eric.
Aaron had a hefty pop.
Yeah, that was a big pop. Popping bottles.
Popping a Grolsch tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Straight out the Netherlands. You know, I was actually reading about Grolsch. They've been around since the 1600s. Old beer.
That's a long time.
Oh, that is a long time.
It's a few years.
What are you drinking, Rigsby?
I have Flying Dog's Family Drama Imperial Pilsner, which is a holiday tradition. Holiday time only.
Been around as long
Excellent.
as Grolsch has.
No, not at all. only like 4 or 5 years, I think. Maybe not even that. But I think I've recommended this to you before because it is a Pilsner. And I know you're not a fan of the IPAs, the Imperial Pale Ales, but this is an Imperial Pilsner. So I think you should definitely pick some up.
I just might do that.
Point. All right.
He's not going to do
it. And Danny and I have been having a few pops and watching this Minnesota-Michigan game. So what does Mr. Danny have tonight?
So I got a Black Flag Brewing Hop Luck Dinner. And let me tell you, it's good. So they have not disappointed me yet with a beer. So they're definitely killing it.
Yeah, Black Flag's good, man.
Yeah, what do you got, JWoww?
I have a few soldiers left of the Trogs Mad Elf Ale. I can definitely say they won't make it till Christmas. But it's December, so I'm doing my part here.
I thought you would have already gotten rid of those, though.
Yeah,
Almost.
Mine didn't make it till this week.
I know. I had a few other stuff in there that I was able to use prior.
And that's the show, guys.
I'm definitely leaving that in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Awkward pause, and that's the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, but for real, they're talking about playing hockey in January. This is exciting, right?
Oh yeah, very
56 game schedule. Starting what did they say? Middle of January, John?
So training camp opening up 1st or 2nd of January, with games starting around the 13th. Kind of interesting because the NHL almost had a mock schedule of this from the previous couple of lockouts, the one in 94, 95, and then was the last one, 2013. They played abbreviated seasons and had a January start time. So I wouldn't say they've kind of had models for something like this, obviously, because it's a pandemic versus a lockout, but they've had, kind of stuff on the dry erase board they could have used for something like this. So I'm hopeful everything gets off the ground.
I guess we'll see.
So
It's exciting that they have a plan, though.
When would training camp start, though?
So I guess normally, what they do is they bring them all in, the first 2 days, do physical testing and all that. And then they kind of start. So I guess they're going to have a very abbreviated 2-week camp.
So like the first of the year.
Yeah. So even though they say the 13th for start time, probably late month, like maybe around the 20th or that week. That would kind of make the most sense. Get everybody to get their legs back under them. And you said it, Riggs. You know, a lot of these guys that are overseas or even, you know, they're in North America, they may be playing in Canada or, you know, playing in the States. They have to quarantine for 14 days prior to getting together.
Yeah, I mean, my concern would be, okay, the league says we're going to start on the 13th. Training camps are going to open no earlier than the 1st. I think that's the language they usually use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anybody that's playing on a team in Canada right now, they're going to have to do a 14-day quarantine. So if the European guys coming back, you know, haven't got back to their NHL city, or if there are US based guys that haven't, you know, made it back to Canada yet, they're due for a 14-day quarantine. And are they really up for a quarantine Christmas? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Well, even if they started right now, quarantine would be up the 26th or something. Like
right,
they don't have a lot of time. They have a couple
Yeah.
of days before they need to start this quarantine, even. So,
Well,
that's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
And so I saw like some of the European guys, like I know Nico Hischier came back stateside today, so he'll be fine and set to go. But I think of guys like Mike Hoffman, he's still a free agent. So where should he go to either expect to quarantine or expect to play? There's still guys that don't have contracts, or maybe they're going to have issues coming back overseas or even getting across the border, depending on how late they're coming. So there's still some hurdles clearly, but at least if they have the language in to start, I think that's better than what they've done the last couple of months.
And they didn't really resolve the money piece. Like they just kind of said, we're gonna make the decisions on the logistics for the new season and the start dates and all that separate from the collective bargaining agreement. Right.
Well,
so how is that still a risk that one side or the other is going to say, we're not good with the money and back out? Right.
Yeah.
I saw something today. It was like all the GMs were basically, or not GMs, but all the owners were basically at odds with what Bettman was wanting to do because money, like they're not going to make much this year.
And I think part of the problem that they've had, you know, kind of with the negotiations, you know, either to change the language or how the money gets split or, you know, what percentage goes into escrow and all that nonsense that is way above all our heads for the most part. They had an agreement back before they did the restart. And I think the owners, just given the, you know, we're still in the COVID world, not saying that that's a bad contract or anything clearly because they signed it, but I think they'd like to change it to kind of help themselves out. And granted, like I said, those guys know way more about that stuff than we do. But I mean, it's kind of, I think, the first time in like my recent memory where normally when you see the lockout, it's more the players taking a hard line stance. You know, we want this, we want that, and if we don't get it, we're not playing. And then they end up in a lockout, and the players normally look a little greedy, and I understand it, but I'm also kind of with them to some extent because, you know, they only have a certain amount of years they can play in the NHL and make their money, and that's what they're good at, you know, so they're cashing in on their dreams. And, you know, I always joke it's a lotto ticket they can cash for a while, you know, that's their lotto ticket. But now it almost looks like the owners are the greedy ones and kind of, you know, there was even talk they were going to shut it down and then the players were going to take legal recourse against that because they clearly wanted to play. It seemed that it was getting pretty nasty. So good on Bettman for stepping in and at least kind of going like, you know, we'll figure the rest out. We need to get this up off the ground. I think there's just too much to lose for the league, you know, as a brand if they don't get on the ball. I really do.
And we've said it before in previous shows or episodes that, you know, he's really good at what he does, right? He progresses the league and he advocates for the league as a brand, and he helps both sides kind of get to a positive place regardless of the situation. So I think that
Right.
just supports that, right? I would say that both sides, like, it's one thing, like everybody always makes it an owners versus the players thing. And I think in this situation, as we all know, like living through it, it's not really that. It's really like, hey, the parameters changed here for everyone, players and owners, right? So now we have to all come back to the table and figure out how to make this work. And I think they started late, probably because of the way things ended with the last season. And so now I go back to the time constraints of like 14-day quarantine for entering Canada, and they want to start the season as soon as possible, and they want to start training camps as soon as possible. Like I think they started these talks late, and now they're up against it and they're trying to get something done. Are they going to do the right things? Who knows? Like you said, John, like we don't know. Like, but we hope it turns out well, because right now all we're watching is, college hockey, which is cool, but we should be watching NHL games, while we're recording these things. And on Saturday nights we should be watching Hockey Night in Canada and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and I know, Danny, you were kind of talking on it in our group text, just about if they're looking for more money in terms of advertising revenue or something like that. You kind of mentioned, put more ads out there, like put them on the ice, put them on the jerseys and stuff. I'm for that personally. I like it.
Even if it has to be one season, I mean, like Eric said, the parameters kind of changed for this season. Why not just try to do something to offset that loss of money that they're going to have?
That's the real problem, right? Is that the owners are saying we don't want to play, we don't want to have the season because we're not going to make any money, we're going to lose money. So let's find a way to fix it. And it seems like it wouldn't be too difficult to do this for a season and then revert back to how it was. I don't think the fans are going to be too upset with having to see an advertisement on players' pants, or maybe the face-off circles are a different color or something, like whatever, like it. I think the fans will get over it so long as they can watch hockey.
Put the big bumper sticker advertisement right on the front of their helmet.
Sell the crossbars, sell the posts, sell the helmets.
Well, I mean, there's two sides of that, right? And you kind of alluded to it. There's the financial side, obviously, which is, hey, if we can sell ad space, we're going to make some more money, and we might make up some of the losses. And that's good for everybody. It's good for players and ownership. But then there's the cultural side of it, right? There's the hockey culture side of it, which is full of purists, and there's a lot of resistance to putting ads on uniforms and on different places on the ice and whatever. So even if people said, okay, this season we get it, what if, and I think it's a highly likely what if,
it sets a precedent.
The owners are businessmen, right?
Yep.
That they're not going to walk that back, and
Right.
then you're going to have this backlash, right? And I think from a customer relationship perspective, and this is a lot of business crap that whatever, it's
not our stick, but yeah.
Right. But like but it's you're kind of going against what your market really wants to see, but at the same time you're making more money from it, and I just don't see them walking that back after the season.
Right.
So if you start putting ads on pants and on jerseys and stuff, like is that really not going to continue after the fact?
I think you're right. However, I mean, during the playoffs, they add that huge banner right inside the blue lines in both zones. There's already ads in center ice.
Right.
I think that if anything is going to fly, it's going to be stuff on the ice. And
Well,
yeah.
I-
Okay.
I definitely agree with you that if they start selling helmets, start selling, thighs or whatever, then that's never
Like,
going to
can
go
you-
away. And
Can
that's
you
gonna suck.
imagine? Think about the original 6 teams, right? Can you imagine if somebody put like an ad for a major soda brand on the Toronto Maple Leafs, sacred blue
so
sweaters, or the Montreal Canadiens sacred red sweaters?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
is that gonna fly culturally?
my-
Right? Like, that's
Probably
it's
not.
not going
Probably
to.
not.
see, as goofy as it sounds, I'm almost certain at this point every NHL team for their practice jerseys
Oh,
has a
yes.
small sponsor patch on their
Yes.
sweaters.
Yes. But
I know the
you,
NBA on like the Boston Celtics, Lakers, they have a small patch on their game jerseys. I think if you take it small, just a small little patch, and I'm not even saying
That's where it all starts, John.
it,
But
it does
I
start
think-
there, but if that's your sticking point, okay, and that's your sticking point. We don't have the fan revenue. Well, I'm certain there will be companies lining up
Oh, absolutely.
in certain markets, and if you make it, Rigsby, I think you said this, maybe a group text, or maybe it was Daniel or someone. If you almost make it regionally, so when the Vegas Golden Knights come to Washington D.C., they could have certain properties from Vegas having their sponsor on it, and then when they're at home, the sponsor logo they have could be their arena name or something like that.
No. What I was
Make
saying
it
was
regional, yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying was like if Vegas comes to DC, and then they're going to be on the local Washington broadcast affiliate, right? And so when they come in for that one game, they would work with regional partners to figure out the ad that they're going to wear on that uniform.
Correct.
Right.
So it could be like
That's-
Southwest or something that
Right.
would benefit both areas that kind of crosses over.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Now that's just a pure business perspective, though, right? That's just and
Yeah.
probably with a team like Vegas, it would work because what does Vegas like as a city do?
Tourism.
They just want to.
Mhm.
They're a vacuum for money, right? Like they
Yep.
just want to suck as much money from people as
Yep.
possible. So I get that, but a team like Boston or Toronto or Montreal, like Detroit, like these guys that have sacred uniforms culturally, I don't even really like. I like watching Toronto. I really, well, I don't dislike Boston, but I don't like some of the players. Like, but I don't follow those teams, and I'm not a fan of them. And I don't want to see them change those uniforms because they're iconic. They are sacred in hockey culture. So to put something on them would be like,
Okay,
That's
so
bad.
then maybe not. Okay, so then maybe not those. What about the helmet? All right, what about the helmet? Would you do a helmet sticker?
yeah, maybe
I think the whole get up on a player, that's kind of the uniform. I don't know. I don't think if
Nah,
you're
'cause
going
helmet
by, we
stickers,
don't want to ruin
They
the
do.
uniform.
They already
then you
do
can't
that.
put
They already
anything
do
on.
helmet stickers in the East Coast and the American League.
How big are they? Are they on the front? No, they're
They're
on
on
the
the
no,
side.
they're on the
They're on the
side.
side.
They're on the
usually. Like,
sides,
Which
and
I'm
they're
totally fine with.
small.
yeah,
No, you could definitely make out what it is.
I think
sure.
you could.
I mean,
Sure.
it.
And think about why you're doing it, right? I mean, the whole reason for this season is to make up lost revenue because of pandemic, and we can't have fans in the stands, right? So if that's why, then the only reason why you're putting stuff on your uniform is so that it shows up on TV. And these days, right? I mean, we all have super high definition
ISO cams on everybody.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna see it. So if it's a sticker on a, like like where they would typically have the team
team
decal
logo
on the side of the helmet.
Mhm.
Maybe that flies, right?
Or take it.
I just want to see some hockey. I don't care where the advertisement is.
Yeah.
Really,
All right,
I mean,
I'll be a little
And
goofy.
then
All right,
there's
There is
that.
just want to see
Alright.
some hockey.
all right. So I'll be a little. I'll
Just
be a little
change-
goofier.
You could change Boston's name to the Boston Duncans.
You could, yeah, something like
that.
What if?
Just
Okay,
change
so
the
what if?
team names.
So yeah, I guess that's my thing. Like they're talking about how they need to make up. They need to make up revenue. These are things, they could implement where it would generate revenue. I'm sure. Yeah, I would agree. There'd be a lot of purists out there. I'm one of them. Like I do think there are some hockey jerseys I never want to see change, regardless of what happens. I just think they're really good. Between the logo, the colors, and the way it looks. Like growing up, and then looking back. I mean, you guys know this. I look at hockey stuff from before I was born and ages. I like that stuff. It's part of hockey history, and that is a special thing. But there's also a good chunk of fans out there that claim to be hockey purists, but then have like #1 dad on the back of their jersey. Like you're doing,
but
you're doing just as much of a disservice to the jersey.
No,
There's worse ones than #1 dad. I just didn't choose to say
there's
that.
plenty of
That's not
fouls out there, but
Exactly.
how many
that's not a
per
thing,
capita are they?
right?
Come on.
And you could go and like you can go to what's his name, Greg Wyshynski that works for ESPN now.
Yeah.
Used to be Puck Daddy, and he documents jersey.
Oh
fouls,
yeah, he did
right?
all that all the
And,
time. It was great.
like,
I guess that's not my thing.
That's not the same thing.
It's
not.
It's not, but also the same people that are complaining, like, I never want to see this change. And it's the same guy that, goes to a few games a year. He always watches the games. And I respect those people. I really do. But, I think you can't have it both ways. Those same people that complain constantly, you can't change anything. They're disgracing the jersey on the back. They're putting 99, in their name. Like, it's like,
that's not the same, man. That's not the same as putting like
on the front of the crest. I don't
want to mention any company names because like whatever, but it's not the same as putting like major American beer brewer on the front of the Chicago Blackhawks jersey.
I get it.
Which is an iconic sacred uniform in
it's a gorgeous looking
hockey
uniform
culture. Like
period.
You can't touch that.
Yeah, I fully agree.
And I'm usually not like this, but
so we're agreed. Kind of stuff, sell the ice. Don't sell the players. Sell the ice.
Right. Sell the ice. Sell the boards. Have stupid promotions for different things that happen in the game. I mean, even like we know, like in the ECHL.
The pipes, right?
They sell. Yeah, they put decals on the goalposts, to the point where I think, like in some places, it's instead of red, they're blue.
They're
like
blue.
If Geico's sponsoring it, it's like blue goalposts, right?
Well, okay. What about goalie pads? Would you see like goalies do it? But I actually kind of wouldn't mind that.
Those like that's kind of getting into an area where I wouldn't mind it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's already strange anyway.
Think of something that you could with World Juniors starting, we were seeing all the cool kits that some of those kids are wearing, which funny how like a few weeks ago we were like, man, we want to see more personality. And then these young kids are doing it in the World Juniors. And then if they go to an NHL team, they'll just be plain white and lose all personality. It'll be depressing. Yeah. But I think that, it would kind of be funny if the goalies figure out a way to just monetize it for themselves. Like they're like, I'm going to sell ad space on my
I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened already.
That's where I was going to go with that.
I think that would be hilarious.
Okay, you start allowing advertisement on goalies' pads. That's a very personal thing, right? We've talked about their masks before.
Yeah.
Right? How they get to show their personality and everything through their mask design. Now they're doing that with their goalie pads, like John said, the World Juniors setups that are coming out now. The German goalies setup looks sick. One of the USA goalies, he's got like a whole Captain America thing going on. That looks sick.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if a goalie's personality is that they like money?
Yeah.
But the way that we started talking about ads on uniforms was to make up revenue for the league and the teams. So now we're talking about like a very personal thing for the goalies.
This is true.
Are they allowed to go out and get
They probably are.
advertising partnerships
have to
to put
imagine-
on their
No way.
stuff?
If
It
they
would
were allowed
almost-
to, it would already have happened.
I feel
Right.
like it would almost be like that scene. It would be like that scene in Talladega Nights where Ricky Bobby has the Fig Newton
He sold the
sticker
windshield.
on a. Yeah, he sold the
Yes,
windshield. It's like,
exactly.
and he's sitting in the car. You know, I do love Fig Newtons, but this sticker is dangerous and a hazard. Like, and it just has Fig Newton written all across it. Like I could see that,
Man.
but I think like, especially if you're a goalie, that's something. I mean, some of those guys go through what?
He'd get Ovechkin
3 years-
selling his visor.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Fig
Yeah.
Newton sticker on his visor.
He apparently still harbors a grudge against the NHL because they
About the
banned
tint.
like the full
Yeah.
mirrored stuff. He
Yeah.
still is like bent to all hell about
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
I think that's great. I love that.
He has his own style, man.
Can't knock it.
Dad bod,
Yeah.
Russian style.
Dad bod and just scoring goals.
You guys saw the video of him doing slappers in his backyard and Ovechkin Jr. just
Yeah, his boy.
laughing
Yeah.
his butt off. At
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
It's so funny.
It was great.
Yeah, Ovi's out ruining his, custom made sticks. Like he doesn't care.
In
probably
the
broke-
driveway.
He probably broke less that day than in like a regular practice. So it's fine because he was just hitting a tennis ball or whatever, right?
No, he
So
was
he
hitting
was
hitting
pucks.
pucks?
He was
Oh, is it
hitting
pucks? Okay.
real pucks off of the driveway into like some net that looks like it's 50 years old.
Yeah.
It's
But,
probably
like-
a month old and he's been shooting in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just been
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All his buddies are like, "Hey, what have you been doing to stay in shape?" He's just like, "Oh, I'm just going out in the yard and just ripping biscuits."
Just clapping bombs.
His driveway looked like a cheese grater too.
Yeah,
It did not look smooth.
Yeah.
He had to grab a new stick after those 6 that he
you
shot.
would think like you would have enough money to get a semi-smooth driveway.
I mean, that's what he's doing. He's
Court-
making videos and then just autographing his 6-shot sticks, putting them on eBay, and then he's going to pay off his driveway with the money.
Yeah, he's gonna seal his driveway. That's what he's gonna do.
Because we all know he's
Yeah.
hurting for money. He's got to
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
he's
know.
hurting
And
money.
he's due for a new contract at the end of this season. So yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be real hard
He's
up.
going to get paid.
Well, do you see who was it? Was it Chris Versteeg said at the kind of going when it was during very early bubble time, like there could be NHL players that because it's so kind of publicized on social media what guys are walking into the rink with now, do you think they'll seek personal sponsorships now more and kind of walk in with said brands?
Well, yeah. Well, the high profile guys already do, right? Like we
Well,
already
I'm not-
know. We already know that, like,
Ovi's with Nike,
right.
David's with Adidas, so Sid, yeah, all those
Right.
guys.
Matthews
talking-
walks in with his Bieber drip.
But that's what I'm talking. Something like that, where like Matthews could take it, especially a guy. You have
Oh,
three
you
guys
mean-
in Toronto. I'm talking like guys like
Yeah.
Matthew, Nylander, and Marner, where
Yeah.
they could take it to the next level and go like, I'll wear only Gucci shoes,
Yeah.
and whatever, or Nylander, can go. I only want to wear Yeezy, something like that, where they take
Yeah.
it almost to the next level.
And it's because with the relaxed dress code, like when they were in the bubble with return to play,
Correct,
they
yeah.
didn't have to do the suits and the whole thing, so they got to wear whatever they wanted to, and they kind of show some of that. So now, like going into this season, is it the same case? Can they wear whatever they want? And then if that's the case, can they go to brands and say, look, I'll wear your shit
Correct.
if
Yeah.
you pay me X amount per game that I wear your shit,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff, which could be very interesting because we see like sometimes what NFL players wear into the arenas and
Oh, yeah.
even and like in NBA and stuff like that. So, or like baseball too. Like those guys wear whatever when they come into the ballpark.
Well, yeah,
So,
some of those guys just wear a t-shirt and gym shorts like they're going to
Yeah.
the gym.
yeah,
I
but
mean, they
that
don't-
T-shirt costs $125
Exactly. It's a
because
little different.
whatever label, right? Like,
Exactly. But that is kind of the interesting thing. Like, could you see potentially more? I wouldn't mind. It showcases a little more personality. I don't
absolutely.
hate it.
Yeah.
And especially if, I mean, it always impacts the guys that, your third and fourth liners. Like those guys can't really go out and get, they're not going to
Well,
approach big brands, but
Yeah, and they're not going to get a deal anyway, right?
correct.
I mean,
Exactly.
So,
They might not be walking into the rink next game.
right. So
Some,
They're
some,
not
yeah.
gonna get a deal.
their
Yeah.
focus is in a different place, right? Their
Yeah.
focus is in like, hey, I need to work my ass off,
Make this
and
team.
make sure I still have my spot tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
could go to morning skate, and I'm not in my car or on a bus or a plane going back to the American League affiliate or worse, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about the Caps reverse retros.
Yeah. Caps retro jersey, number one selling reverse retro in the league. How do you feel about that, Riggs?
That's cool.
I like it. I don't know. I'm a Penguins fan and I like the jersey.
Like
think it looks nice.
I have fond memories of those uniforms just because like those came out in 97.
Was that when they went to MCI Center first year?
Yeah.
MCI?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so Leonsis had taken over year before. I don't remember the whole history, but Leonsis had taken over. He wanted to sort of rebrand. They were at the end of building MCI Center, which is now Capital One, used to be Verizon, whatever. And they went away from the red, white, and blue. They went to this like black, blue, and bronze sort of color scheme.
Right.
Right. And they had the screaming eagle on the front and the capitals sort of on the bottom. Very, very late 90s design. Like it was,
Oh, big time.
it was like,
Mhm.
It fit in.
but at that time, like in 97, that was my senior year in high school. That's when I was playing, right? Getting ready to go away to college, getting to go to games a lot, kind of on my own with my buddies, watching Bondra tear up the league.
He was good as hell, man.
So for me, that was like a formative time as a hockey fan. So that style of uniform, yeah, it definitely, it brings up a lot of memories for me and stuff. Now, adding like bringing it forward to this time, right? and bringing the red, white, and blue color scheme to it and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I don't want one because I don't really wear hockey jerseys anymore. Like even when I go to games or when I did go to games, I wasn't wearing like jerseys that much anymore. I would just wear like teams, like a hoodie or a hat or something. So I don't really care about it, but also like when I see that style of the jersey in red, white, and blue, it doesn't look right. It would look better is if it was in the old, black,
Like the black
and blue and the bronze that I remember, and I could see in my mind, I could see Bondra, I could see Hunter, I could see Pavanka, Gonchar when he came in. He was wearing that. Like I could see all those guys. Kolzig,
Halpern.
yeah, Jeff Halpern, who's local product, right
Stanley
down the
Cup
road.
champion.
that color scheme resonates more with me than putting the red, white, and blue on the Screaming Eagle jersey. So so the bottom line is that's a long way of saying I really don't care.
Daniel has a complaint, I know.
Yes, yeah. Not about the actual jersey itself, but the placement of the captain and assistant captain letter.
Oh,
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Don't get me
wrong.
started.
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah, it's on the wrong side.
It's
Yes.
wrong.
It's on the
wrong.
wrong side.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be on the left or on
It's
the right.
no,
It's
it's
supposed to
on
be
the
left.
it's on the right shoulder.
Yeah, it's on
And
the
if
right
you-
shoulder.
If you look
Supposed to
at
be on the left.
any pic, like just go look up Dale Hunter, Washington Capitals.
What, when he was burying Turgeon?
19
That's a good
Come on.
idea.
Come on, man.
Great.
Come
yeah.
on. Just
Too
Just
soon.
look
have
up
that.
Dale Hunter, Washington Capitals, like
Dale
1990
Hunter.
1998, because that's when they went to the final. Where and tell me where the captain's C is. It's on the left shoulder.
Yeah.
And they
It's
put
supposed to be next to your heart.
That's right.
yeah.
So I do think the jersey color is cool. I think it's gonna look great on the ice.
It'll look awesome on the
But
ice.
I had I had the one complaint. That was probably it.
Yeah. And you are absolutely correct in your complaint, in your opinion.
I just my
Confirmed.
only,
Wait, so go ahead, John.
I was gonna say my only thing with like a bunch of people buying the jersey. So where are people gonna wear this jersey?
I know.
Like,
They're
where are you wearing this?
like the replica ones are $180. The replica ones that have players' names on them, like there's a store right near us here in Frederick that has the replicas that has Ovechkin with the C on the wrong side, and they also have TJ Broshie's jersey. $180 for those.
Oof.
Where are you wearing them? Are you wearing them to a game? No, you're not. They're not going to have
Wear
fans.
them in your house.
See,
You're
the
gonna-
only
You're gonna,
I think the only jersey I have right now, I have a Team USA jersey from the 2002 Salt Lake Winter Games.
when
and
they
I got-
trash the hotels.
No, that was 98.
Oh, that's
two,
right. I
that was Salt
forgot.
Lake.
Nagano, they trash
Nagano.
the hotels.
Nagano.
Yeah, so remember, they threw couches and stuff out the hotel window. No small feet. Very
Wait,
impressive.
was that 98?
Yes, that was 98.
That was Nagano, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Or no.
No, it was Nagano.
No, because I think Nagano. Because that was Canada. Nagano.
Nagano was when
2000
Czech Republic won. Or
Yeah,
Czech-
so
Czech
that
won.
was when the United States trashed the hotel room. 2002, we played Canada in the gold medal game and we lost. That was Lemieux. Gretzky was the GM. He had that speech. How about he's sick of when the Europeans do dirty stuff. It's called they play hard. When Canadians do it, they call them hooligans. It's not fair. He wouldn't do a big spiel. Anyway, yeah, I remember this odd stuff. Anyway, but that's the only jersey I own. I don't have a Penguins jersey. I will at some point maybe get one, but it's the reverse retro the Penguins came out with. I don't want it.
It's lame.
I don't.
So there's
Just
one.
don't-
Whoa.
It's lame. I
I
think it's
like
lame.
it.
I don't
I
want
like
it.
it.
It's
I
good.
don't
It's
like
fine.
it. I
But
like it.
It's such a
It
missed
doesn't make it
opportunity.
Okay.
Doesn't want me want it.
It's such a missed opportunity. It should have been the RoboPin. It
Yeah.
should have been
You're
the
right.
RoboPin.
It
No,
should have.
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
It's a
It should have
completely missed opportunity.
You're right. But the second
Absolutely.
best option was
Was the Snoop Dogg?
the
Diagonal.
white
Yeah.
version of the black diagonal Pittsburgh word script,
Yep.
which Snoop Dogg wore in a
Correct.
music
The video.
video.
Yes.
Like, so maybe he'll wear the white version of it. And
Correct.
Himself a new one. Yep.
Correct. So,
So
I'm,
who's got the worst though? That's the real question. Who do you think has the worst reverse retro?
Carolina.
Well, you just don't. You don't like that entire organization.
I don't
But-
like that they're. I don't like that
I don't-
they're appropriating the Hartford
They are.
Whalers
They are. It's
hockey
nonsense.
history.
I'll
It's
give you that.
nonsense.
I'll give you
They
that.
have nothing
That's not
to
a
do
Carolina
with Hartford.
jersey.
Right. It's
No.
not.
I'm going to say the
Yeah.
Ducks.
I still think it's the Coyotes.
Yeah, that sucks. I
The
agree.
Coyotes is really bad.
No,
Wait,
the Coyotes,
the-
I don't mind though.
Yeah, the Coyotes.
I don't mind that because that
I s-
almost went back to the original jersey. I don't mind that as much as the Ducks one is horrible.
The Ducks, I understand why they did what they did because I remember the original Robo Duck thing that they had going on, whatever the hell that was, like Super
Yeah.
Duck that was like flying
Yeah.
around on the thing.
Yep.
But the original one I think was like green or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was the green, like
Yeah.
forest green almost.
Yeah. And
I think-
okay, but
I really
know,
don't
man.
like. I don't like the Islanders because it's literally the same jersey.
it's the same
It's
thing.
the same jersey they've had.
It's
Like
the
let's
same
go.
thing. It's the
I
same
like the
thing.
Islanders.
It's not retro at all.
They
already
could
had
have
retro.
done they could have done the Gordon's Fisherman.
They could have.
Yeah,
they could have done
the
that.
Fisherman.
Fine.
Or
I think-
because they got the lighthouse now, right?
I think the two
Mhm.
teams that
Yeah.
me personally, I think the two teams that really hit it out of the park, and this is just me. I love the Kings retro. I think it's sharp looking. It's a different color scheme. You're going back to like the Marcel Dion days with the purple.
Yeah.
I like it. And
Yeah.
then the other team, I like the New York Rangers with the Statue of Liberty. It's very iconic. I think like
yeah,
Mike
there's
Richter,
something about that. And
I
like,
just think it looks great.
I-
I really do.
I cannot stand the Rangers, but there's something about that Statue
crest,
of Liberty
yeah. Mm-hmm.
crest, even though it has the dumb NYR at the bottom. Like they
Yeah, I
should
don't
get
like
rid
that
of
either.
that.
Yeah.
They should have got rid of that 20 year or
Initially.
shit, 40 years ago when they or whenever it was 30 years ago when they
It
had
was
it.
30, 20,
Um,
20 years ago.
Yeah, 25. I don't remember. Anyways,
Something like that.
like they should have never put the NYR on there. Just do the Statue of Liberty crest.
Yeah.
Because it matched like what Richter had on his mask. And we
Yep.
talked about that
It looked
before.
great.
Like there
Yep.
was all that stuff, and it's iconic for like New York and that brand. And I like the color scheme, like with the blue and the red and the dark blue, not the whatever blue that they use on the blue shirts.
The Royal,
you know,
yeah. It's navy. Yeah.
It's dark blue with the red. It's high contrast. Like it looks great on TV. So those will look awesome. Even
Yeah.
though like I can't stand the Rangers. I think Philly phoned it in.
Yeah,
with
it's just orange with the black.
The
It's-
old school.
I feel like
looks
they've
the
almost
same.
had.
the old
I feel
school
like they've almost-
90s, like
yeah.
whatever.
I
Well,
feel like
I
they've
don't
had.
know.
In their
those.
defense, they have never changed their logo. Like
No,
it's
they
the
haven't.
same logo forever.
Right.
So
All
see,
they've
you
done
can only
is
go
like,
so far back. And
But that's what I'm saying.
in
Like
terms of
Philly,
retro.
Philly's almost one of those teams where like they're almost in not in the same echelon, obviously, as like Boston and Detroit, New York, Chicago. But like you think Philadelphia Flyers, that's what you see.
Yep.
Like there's no,
right.
they don't deviate. Like that's what
Right.
it is. That's
Well,
the
and
logo. Like you could go.
Also, what is a flyer? There's no like you can't. So there's no.
It
like,
was something with
there's no
escalators. I know that. It's
Yeah, but there-
something.
But
yeah.
there's no like picture that you could put on a jersey of a
I think they should
flyer,
put
That's why
gritty
it's
at
a
the,
puck
put
moving
gritty at this
fast.
point.
right?
They should
Yeah.
put gritty at this point or something.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, but
pretty
he's-
soon
is he a
that's what it'll
flyer?
be.
Is that
no,
what a flyer
Gritty's a
is?
scumbag.
He is a scumbag.
Jersey ever.
Yeah.
Just an orange jersey with Gritty's face on it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! No, like whoever is the you said it a couple weeks ago, Aaron. Somebody should like some goalie should put Gritty's face on his pads.
On his pads.
like, like that
Well, I
should
think-
absolutely happen.
Well, it's kind of funny, Riggsy, because you know how like you and I we're true about this. Like I don't like Carolina using the Hartford Whalers stuff. I hate
No,
it.
I don't like
It
that. at
aggravates
all.
me.
I don't.
But
like
I
it.
do kind of I like Minnesota. They use the Minnesota Wild logo, but I do like they use that Kelly green and yellow. I like that.
Minnesota's
It's not
nice.
it's not my favorite, but I like it, and I do like the fact that the Avs went with the Nordique.
with the colors.
logo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of like their
Yeah,
colors
yeah.
with the Nordique
Yeah.
thing. I think that
Yeah.
looks sharp, and it's
yeah.
in
But I also still don't think that they should have used the Nordiques.
Don't use your previous
stuff.
franchise.
Like I don't. Again, this goes back to like the whole hockey culture thing. Like
Yeah.
people in Quebec are going to be pissed, and it's going to alienate fans. And it's the same thing with Carolina with Hartford.
Well, there's
gonna,
like 20 people in Hartford that are going to be.
I don't know, man.
I'm just playing. Yeah,
Hey,
there's a
Aaron,
bunch of listeners.
I bet you,
up there.
Aaron, I bet you.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron.
Be careful, man. We need plays.
Liam. Hey, Aaron, just so you know, Liam Neeson lives in Hartford. He's coming for you. He's going to call you up. You're going to
He
get
has
angry.
a special set of skills.
Yeah. It's calling for you, buddy. What do you like, Danny?
I like the Montreal jerseys.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
blue that they went
I like
with.
those.
They look really nice. And I like the Oilers. I think it's kind of the similar jersey what they have now, but colors are a little different. Placement's a little different.
Oilers are similar to the Flyers too. They haven't changed a whole lot.
Right.
Like they've got
Well,
like one or two little
nah, 'cause-
alternates they've had here and there, but for the most part, their logo's always been the same.
Well, they had that oil drop.
Except when they
Did
had
the oil
The
drop.
oil, yeah,
But
like I
like-
said, they had a
Oh,
couple
that
of
was
weird
sick.
little alternates.
but it was like an anime oil drop. It
Yeah.
had like all this
It looked
was like
more
a
like a
around
meteor.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's our show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your favorite podcatcher. And remember to tell your friends and tell your family. Have a great one.